Promised I have Vishal today. I hope some of you join. Vishal is a co-founder of BeMe's Open School, which is based in Bangalore, and it's close to my heart because it's like home to me. Everything I go through, I end up going here. This is where I am actually, and their journey started about 9 years back.
This is the 10th year.
Yeah, 9 years back, and this has been a very, I would say, it's been a very different journey from what anyone or any of us have experienced before venturing into this field called open schooling. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of more minutes for other people to join, and let's see where we can take this. This is me, I'm here. I'm behind the camera.
So there are some very basic questions that we had about education and beliefs that we developed thanks to, let's say, the long number of years of association we had with Arohi and the discussions that we used to have in that community, and Aditi and Ratnesh, they have passed on their insights. Because of that, there were certain beliefs which we couldn't have tried out if it was a conventional school. What does it mean to have open school? So we are not a registered school per se. So the government does not recognize us as school. So it's a learning center. Though children spend as much time, and in fact probably more time at a school like ours compared to, let's say, a regular school, but on a daily basis, but it's not a recognized school. That's what open school means.
Okay. So does it mean that your system is different from the conventional school in the way that there is no set structure as such that children need to follow, or there is no set, there are no set rules, or there is nothing like a fixed structure? Is that what it is?
Let me answer it in two parts.
Okay.
It doesn't apply to every open school.
Yes.
So open school just gives you the freedom to structure your school in your way, and there's a vast range of, it's a spectrum of alternate schools. So just because of a school is alternate school does not mean the philosophy is same as another alternate school.
Okay.
At BeMe, what we have, I wouldn't want to give a yes-no answer to the question that is it that we don't have rules, we don't have structure. We do have a system, and a system which gives space and freedom to children to explore and try things out. The fundamental idea at BeMe is every single decision related to a child, we co-create it along with the child.
Yeah, okay. So that's what BeMe system looks like, right? Okay. I wanted to ask something that you may have observed about children, like in general, because you've been observing children for so many years now, right? So what did you observe about children who are part of BeMe? How are they coping up with the system? Or even if they don't have to cope up with the system, is there something different about them? Is there something that you observed in particular that, oh, this is something that may not have been there if this was a different system? Or, I think you got the question. So
yeah, so I don't know if I should answer that question straight away, or first I should come to how things work at BeMe.
You
a very
go
quick
sure.
quick overview of that because ultimately we do follow a process. So we the way when a plant grows, you can't make the cells of the plant multiply, whatever you do. You can only create an environment. And the environment may be created through pesticides and urea or natural fertilizers or nothing at all, but that's the only thing that's in the control of someone who is trying to grow a plant. Similarly, we believe that for the children, we can create a rich environment.
Yeah.
Child chooses to pick what the child wants to.
Okay.
And we believe that this is true universally, that you can take the horse to the tank, but drinking or not is horse's choice. It's just that at BeMe we have accepted our limitation, and we are starting with that limitation that anyways we can't learn for the child. Learning or not is a very personalized choice. So why not instead just bring interesting things?
Okay.
So now these 10 years, few data points, right? Few things that we have experienced. So far there have been 5 batches which have come out. So around 20 children have graduated, if we have to use that word, right?
Yeah.
And these 5 batches, all of them chose to give the 10th exam. So they had the option of not writing. Not everyone has gone to a very typical conventional kind of path, but they all chose to write 10th, and most of them, so on an average, all of them have prepared for the 10th in 1.5 to 2 years, and also scored pretty well. But not that they had been preparing for 10th all those 10 years. So that itself tells us that if they are just living life, and this belief that if we talk about curriculum and if we talk about classroom, life is the curriculum and entire world is the classroom. That belief has got reinforced in these 10 years.
Okay.
So when we see children experiencing this, what do we see different in these children? We have seen that most of them, they are quite reflective in nature, self-aware. Most of them, after they grow to a certain age, we have seen that they are also quite sensitive to the world around them.
True.
And often also courageous enough to take a path which others may not have walked on. And many times people also laugh at them, they try to pull them down, but they are able to show the courage to stand that no, I still like this and I'll continue.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that was like, just few words you said, but there is a lot that we have observed about these children. I'm sure if we have a little longer time, we could talk a lot more about these things that we observe in children. They are different for sure. And we are not coming from this point of view that we are better. We're just saying this system suits some people and some children, and for some children they are meant to be part of such systems so that they can blossom. They may not be able to, give justice to their own talent if they are put in a system which is different than something similar to what BeMe is offering. I think that's where we are coming from, isn't it?
Yeah, and in fact, now that you are raising it very quickly, I'll mention that there have been children for whom it hasn't worked.
Yes.
And together, but the point is, even in that case, the parent, child and the faculties, we decided together that should we be looking for a more structured system.
Yeah. So I think that's what is different about BeMe, that there is this open thing about open dialogue, I would say, that where are we? Is this working for us? And if it is not working, what do we need to choose for ourselves? So I think these dialogues keep happening pretty frequently between the child and the faculty for sure. And at times parents also do get involved. So that's good. I think some of those questions you have already answered, but I would still say that what would you say to the parents who are exploring like schools for their children right now, that they have not come across open schooling at all, and they are coming across this video for the first time? So what would your advice be for them?
One perspective which I have developed as parent as well as an educator now is the lifespan of education. And as I'm saying this, let me raise this question, and I want the listeners or the viewers to pause and think about it, that what do you think is the lifespan of education for you? How many years it is? Yeah. And now I've been asking this question to many people, and almost universally, so I've not come across anyone who has said 10 years, 15 years, or even 20, 25 years. Almost everyone says education is lifelong. because learning continues lifelong. And what would be an interesting thing to ask then next is, how many years of formal education do we actually go through? And if you compare, so let's say it is 15 years or 20 years, compared to the education that we go through after the school, college and everything is over, which one do you think is harder? Is it those first 15-20 years when you have all support of the world? You have the parent support, you have the teachers, you have the best of the institutes, you don't have to worry about earning. Is that harder, the kind of problems that you solve? Or, oh, where should I put my money in? How much money should I earn? Whom should I marry? Should I marry at all or not? Which political party I should support? Which questions are harder?
Which career to choose?
Which career to choose? And so it's almost like if I have to communicate visually, a visual which comes to my mind is the first 15-20 years when you have the whole world's support. That's like a small speed breaker. Even the 10th exam, 12th exam, NEET, JEE, whatever you count. The life is like a mountain. And are these 15-20 years preparing us for this? And definitely the kind of problems that we try to solve as part of the formal education, they are not real. Imagine a child clears the JEE exam with very good marks, and because of that the glaciers stop melting. Sounds so ridiculous, right? Those exams, the problems which our children are solving in the formal education, they are meant for something else. They are not real problems of life. But they have to face real life after this. So shouldn't they be living life even during their formal education time? So irrespective of whether you go for open school or international school or state board, see if you can let your child live life. See if you can let your child play and explore, and see if you can enter the child's world instead of coming from the angle that I know everything, you listen to me.
That's a very different thing. I would love if you talk more about that, because feels like that is the highlight of this video. That the learning that we are looking at in the formal education, that can shape or define me for the rest of my life. So talk a little more, please. I'm requesting. This seems to be the highlight.
So even at BeMe, where academics happens along with many things, I'll say honestly that not just parents, we ourselves, we faculties, we go through those phases of doubts and fears, okay, and we fall back on each other. I go through those doubts and fears, that because when you ask the question, are these children on the right path? Are they learning something? And a significant part of the time which child spends on, if the child is given the space, is what we have been calling as free play. Okay, where free play is, I'm not really doing something with a learning objective in mind. In today's world, teachers, they are made to prepare lesson plans, learning outcomes, learning objectives. Sounds like a very nice system, but learning objective is not. And when you are driven by an objective, it's unlikely that organic, natural, beautiful things happen. So, but the problem with free play is it's very hard to get tangible things, and many times it tests your patience.
Yeah.
So allowing, as parent or as faculty, allowing the child to play freely, and free play is very tightly integrated with life.
All the life lessons are integrated in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the things which are harder to acquire acquiring knowledge versus acquiring the ability to acquire knowledge, or acquiring the ability to solve difficult problems, bringing my own creativity out. Uh, these days people throw a lot of these terms, right? Skills like design thinking. How do you develop some of these, right? And it cannot be taught. I cannot teach you to be creative. I cannot teach you to,
Bang on.
right? But maybe it comes out from you. But for it to come out from you,
I need to
you
have
need to be
opportunity.
really into it, into that moment, live, alive, right?
Right.
And hence, education at school can't be disconnected with life. When the child comes to the school, child has to be living, and living 100-150%.
Yeah.
So when how can that happen? For that, you need to give that space. You need to be patient. So while curricular things happen, but here we continue to see. So in fact, today we were talking about this one child. She is into miniature artwork, okay, and these are all chota. So this size teacup, and now why? So when there are bigger ones which are more functional, why would I make something like this? So when you are driven with learning objectives, you need to have a reason. But when you want creativity to come out, you don't need to have a reason. When you want to actually discover something from within, then that wild beast has to come out, which ironically is also shy. So wild beasts don't come out every now and then. We all go to jungle safaris, but we return after seeing bison
And they don't
hippo
come
and all.
they don't come in the controlled environment.
They don't. So you make this Kaban Park, I'll grow more trees. Will a tiger come to Kaban Park? No. The tiger lives in a forest, and the strongest animal, still the most shy. So our inner best true self is also like the wild beast.
Okay.
It's shy. It does not come out if you are
Easily.
saying, oh, I'm waiting, I'll see how you look, I'll see how you roar. It's not interested. It will come out when
There's freedom. I think then freedom would be the highlight of the system, open schooling, but with responsibility, right? Because I'm taking responsibility of my own learning.
Yeah, and I think responsibility, what we have experienced at BeMe is you give them responsibility and they become responsible.
Yeah.
I've not seen a child, so even infants as young as 1 year olds, they are super responsible.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people look at the safety standards at BeMe, then people feel the adults are not responsible because they are actually being careless by allowing children to not just climb the tree but also go to the roof which does not have parapet. So and you don't have a net tied at the bottom, so people get scared and they feel, oh. But we rather feel that we are not just acknowledging that children are responsible, but also making them realize that you are very responsible. Let not the world not tell you that you are not responsible.
Wonderful. I think I can go on for next 10 hours, but both of us have families to go back to and a stomach to feed and chores to do. So I may have to end it here, but I think I'll come back to you, Vishal, again. Maybe we can throw a little more light on these things that are so vital to the the bringing out the authentic version of the individual. We talk about be me, right? So how do you be me? And there are some factors that actually facilitate that. Instead of creating traumatized and adults who need to be healed later on in their life, I think we need to step in little early. And again, we are not coming from this point of view that we are better than the other systems. We are evolving, and we have some inputs which may benefit some people, and here is what it is, and you can take it or leave it. Its choice is still yours. So I think we are going to come back. I'm definitely going to bother Vishal and Ratnesh too, and if Prakash allows, I'll bother him too. We would like to talk more about the open schooling and how this can shape the individual differently. Thank you, Vishal. Oh, namaste. Thank you. Thank you, people. Thank you for joining. Thank you, listener.